Okay, so let's get into a little bit of what we saw last night. Can you talk to me about the John Fuda and Teresa feud? I think that
Okay.
everyone's talking about this.
Okay. I'm gonna listen. I was friendly with John. I'm having issues right now. I mean, not big ones, but I'm having a little bit of issues right now. Because I think that he has overreacted to certain things. Some things he had reason for. Now, with that said, um, I think they're both wrong with the feud. I think they're both wrong. I think Teresa should have never said what she said about him.
Mhm.
And I think that he said certain things that he shouldn't have said. So they're both wrong. And that's Jersey.
Mm.
I'm not surprised because that's when you go on RHONJ, this is as down and dirty as you're going to get. So don't think anything's going to get past anyone. They're going to hit you between the eyes. They're going to call you whatever they want to call you.
I think people that watch this are wondering, is a lot of this created because they thrive on the chaos? The producers want the chaos. They want this fighting, or like, because some of these arguments seem really dumb, quite frankly. And they seem like you're watching them and you're like, wait a minute, you're just twisting one word and you're harping on this one word and you're not arguing about real things here. It just seems so chaotic. And do you think that's created because the cast knows they will get more airtime, they will stay on, whatever it is for them? Or are the producers saying, all right, we've got to have an argument today? Like what's the behind the scenes on that?
Some of it is we have to have an argument, okay? But with the Fuda thing, he was furious
Mm.
that she called him that. He was furious, and the way they got the information was the woman who had his child that he raised. She's been in jail, so he was furious that supposedly he thought that they spoke to her from jail and she said all these things about them and then they brought it onto the show. So his anger, he was furious and he still is, okay? So I don't think he ever expected that. I
Yeah.
really don't think when coming on that show he expected for this to come out.
Well, I can understand that, when you feel like something in your past is being used against you now, that's a triggering thing. Obviously, his anger is because he's triggered. Maybe not necessarily
Exactly.
because so many people are talking about that in the press and his ex and all this stuff. So it's not
Yes.
Teresa, it's not coming out of Teresa's mouth.
No.
But the way that Teresa says these things, she does, from a viewer's standpoint,
Yeah.
say it to get under their skin. And who cares if she said it in the past or in the future or whatever.
Yes.
She also
Yes.
did this with Jackie and, regurgitating information about Jackie's husband cheating on her
Right.
and then kind of like throws the information out there and then says, well, I didn't say it. Someone else said it. So it should make it
Yeah.
seem okay. And I think that's what's triggering about her personality because
Right.
it doesn't seem like she's being a real friend, or it doesn't seem like she's being careful with how she, regurgitates this information, and it seems like it's to be hurtful. So, I mean, I can understand his level
Right.
of anger. Can
Oh
you?
yeah, no, that part I can understand.
Yeah.
But what Teresa said to me was they started it because last reunion they were accusing Louis of doing certain things that he insists he didn't do. So her why this came out with her, of course, she hit below the belt. I do too. I get it because I do too.
Yeah.
So
We all do.
she feels that he attacked her husband last year. So now they're coming back this season. Do you understand? So
Yeah.
now when Rachel says to her, he's not a gentleman, meaning Teresa's husband goes, excuse me, my husband is a gentleman. And that's when she hits hard, you see? So she was provoked. Now, would most people say that? No. Would I say that? I don't know. I don't know how far I go. It depends. But Teresa's very protective, clearly, of her husband.
Yeah.
I think you could call Teresa any name you want. You mess with her husband or her kids, she flips out. She
Flips
flips out.
out.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think another thing that is a little bit curious for people is where the finances come from, both John and Louis, right? So he's not a valet parker, right? I mean,
He
what is
owns a
he?
valet business called Valet King.
Okay, and I mean, it's kind of funny how she was going
Yes.
below the belt on that, but if it's not true, I don't know why he gets so upset about it. It's just kind of laughable. But just for listeners, what is it that he does and what is it that Louis does that they make so much money that they can live this nice life? Because I think it's very curious.
Okay. So John Fuda comes from money. His mother owns Fuda Tile, which is huge out here in Jersey. Huge. Okay. But that doesn't mean that he made his money from his mom. He started Valet King years ago. As a matter of fact, one of my posh fashion shows was done at a Porsche dealership. And his Valet King, this is funny, valeted the cars. The best thing, now also Son Cubano, I just found out from a podcast, he did the valet for that night too, where me and Joe Gorga get into it and call each other all kinds of names where I call him a midget. So like this kid's been working hard for a while. Now, other businesses, I don't know. I know he's involved in the Fuda Tile. He has Valet King. He doesn't live a larger than life. He has a nice home in Franklin Lakes. He's got a home down the shore. They don't live large like Louis and Teresa. They don't go on these crazy vacations with private jets and all that. They live a nice suburban Franklin Lakes life.
Right.
Yeah.
And what about Louis? Because I know like Margaret has accused Louis of spending all of Teresa's money. And we've seen there's been a couple lawsuits.
Yeah.
What does he do?
I don't know what he does. I still haven't, I met Louis. He was very lovely to me. He's obsessed with my show and he's the first one to say it. It's really funny. He got caught and when me and Teresa weren't talking, he got caught in the garage watching my show. And at that time it was $10 a month. Teresa walks into the garage, almost like he was watching porn or something. So she goes to him, "You're paying $10 to listen to her show." He's like, oh, and he gets caught and he goes off. Now we have the lunch. We make up. Before he left the lunch, he joined my Patreon. It was so cute. That's his, he just loves it. And he gets a kick out of me. I get a kick out of him. I don't know what he does, but I know the business that he was in that laid him off because of the show. And when I say laid him off, he was a partner. He made very good money with that business. I don't know about this technical stuff and computers, and I don't know about that. But he did not squander Teresa's money. That I know for sure. Teresa does well. But when Teresa met Louis, her house was not doing, she was trying to sell her house. Like, remember, she had to pay a lot of money back. She has 4 daughters that she supports herself. So this wasn't this multi-millionaire that Louis took advantage of. If anything, Louis helped her. He was like the knight in shining armor. What's going on now with the money? I don't know.